Episode number 74. D'Artagnan had just passed the rook cassette, and already perceived the door of his friend's house, shaded by a mass of sycamores, and clematis which formed a vast arch opposite the front of it, when he perceived something like a shadow issuing from the roof of Andoni. This something was enveloped in a cloak, and D'Artagnan at first believed it was a man, but by the smallness of the form, the hesitation of the walk, and the indecision of the step, he soon discovered that it was a woman. Further, this woman, as if not certain of the house she was seeking, lifted up her eyes to look around her, stopped, went backward, and then returned again. D'Artagnan was perplexed. "Shall I go and offer my services?" thought he. "By a step she must be young. Perhaps she's pretty. Oh, yes. But a woman who wanders in the streets at this hour only ventures out to meet a lover. If I should disturb a rendezvous, that would not be the best means of commencing an acquaintance." Meantime the young woman continued to advance, counting the houses and windows. This was neither long nor difficult. There were but 3 hotels in this part of the street, and only 2 windows looking towards the road, one of which was in a pavilion parallel to that which Aramis occupied, the other belonging to Aramis himself. "Pardieu," said D'Artagnan to himself, to whose mind the niece of the theologian reverted. "Pardieu, it would be droll if this belated dove should be in search of a friend's house. But on my soul, it looks so. Ah, my dear Aramis, this time I shall find you out." And D'Artagnan, making himself as small as he could, concealed himself in the darkest side of the street near a stone bench placed at the back of a niche. The young woman continued to advance, and in addition to the lightness of her step, which had betrayed her, she emitted a little cough, which denoted a sweet voice. D'Artagnan believed this cough to be a signal. Nevertheless, whether the cough had been answered by a similar signal which had fixed the resolution of the nocturnal seeker, or whether without this aid she saw that she had arrived at the end of her journey, she resolutely drew near to Aramis's shutter, and tapped, at 3 equal intervals, with a bent finger. "This is all very fine, dear Aramis," murmured D'Artagnan. "Ah, Monsieur Hypocrite, I understand how you study theology." The 3 blows were scarcely struck, when the inside blind was opened and a light appeared through the panes of the outside shutter. "Ah, ah," said the listener, "not through doors, but through windows. Ah, this visit was expected. We shall see the windows open, and the lady enter by escalade. Very pretty." But to the great astonishment of D'Artagnan, the shutter remained closed. Still more, the light, which had shone for an instant, disappeared, and all was again in obscurity. D'Artagnan thought this could not last long, and continued to look with all his eyes, and listen with all his ears. He was right. At the end of some seconds 2 sharp taps were heard inside. The young woman in the street replied by a single tap, and the shutter was opened a little way. It may be judged whether D'Artagnan looked, or listened with avidity. Unfortunately the light had been removed into another chamber, but the eyes of the young man were accustomed to the night. Besides, the eyes of the Gascons have, as it is asserted, like those of cats, the faculty of seeing in the dark.